Alright, Corey here with Gas Automotive. We are starting another project here, a 1954 Ford Custom Line. We're just going to fix this one up and give it to my wife to drive around for a while till we sell it or she'll keep it. And so of course, as you can see, it needs tons of floor work. So back here, it's pretty solid. It's still really solid, but it was just rusted through in a few little areas where you were getting little tiny spot holes and you can see the light through it. But not quite bad enough. We're not turning this into a show car. So this is more kind of like a get her done car. So I took a whole bunch of this stuff right here. It's epoxy panel bonder that they use for all kinds of different stuff. And I went underneath and put tape underneath where the floor is really solid and the paint's good. And just applied a small layer over top of it. I don't even think that's probably 1/8 of an inch. And just to fill those holes up, so that way no water can splash up and get on if we put a carpet in it and things like that, cause water leakages. And it's just also gonna help keep it from rusting further into the future. Also, if you look down here, we're on the passenger side, the inner rocker. We wanna keep the outer rocker because it keeps that cool paint fade and the whole patina and all that stuff. So I put these pieces inside, and because the metal's so thin, it would be incredibly hard to weld to. So some of the pieces are going to be attached again with the epoxy panel bonder, and then the rest of the stuff I can now weld inner rockers to those metal pieces in there. And the rocker will also be panel bonded to the inner rocker on the very rusty bottom edge part as well. So we can still keep that and it looks cool, but it'll still be solid enough that it'll have an inner rocker and the strength of all of that as well. And for this side, unfortunately, the outer rocker's just gone too far, and we're just gonna have to replace it and either primer it or paint match it up a little bit, something like that. And that's how things are going right now. Good day. I just wanted to go point out a quick mistake I made here on one of my little things. I might be able to fix it up a little bit more by pulling this a little bit tighter and moving this around. But when I punched all the holes with my little tool, all the holes are over a little bit and they're just kind of just catching the edge of the other piece of metal. So hopefully if I can move this and manipulate it a little bit, but next time I'll make sure I make the holes a little bit closer to the edge so they line up with the under piece metal better. So now I got something to fix. All right, I have the 3 floor braces all in. I'll show you underneath how they're welded. And I'm just about to start putting the actual floorboards in themselves. Alright, just a little tip here why you don't throw things away. So here we got this piece that I cut off the top of that piece. Right, it was all went, where's my hand? It all went up higher and cut that off. So now I've cut this piece off of the end. And as you can see right here, did not quite enough material to go up and make that solid. So hopefully I'm going to cut this piece up, put that in there, a little bit more trimming and welding, and it'll have that nice little, fit in there nicely and look good hopefully. All right, progress is going along on the 54 Custom Line. I got the whole driver's side floor in with the front and second row braces replaced. Now I just got to put the back together. I've already prefabbed up most of that, so I just got to install it. Make a few more pieces and this project will be done. Patch panel, it looks completely ugly, but it's kind of in there and it's formed kind of nice. I also got this one, I just threw it over top and just spot welded on there. I know it's not pretty in any way. Like I said, this isn't a show car, this is a get her done car. As long as there's no holes through for the floor, you know, water to get up and moisture and stuff like that, you know, it is what it is. Hopefully I'm going to put a carpet over it, you'll never see any of it. Now this one up here in the corner, that one turned out not too bad, right? It's in there, it looks good. Not nearly as bad, that one, not super proud of it, but it looks okay. Gets the job done. Alright, it's the end of the weekend here, and as you can see, I've got vast majority of the rear floors in. Those weights over there are all along this edge. It was quite rusty, and I was not going to try and even weld to it. So that's where I use the panel bond adhesive. And those weights are, you know, holding it down into place so it can harden and do its thing. Boom, there you can see a little bit of it sticking out. That's okay-ish there, but the farther it went over, it was just rustier and rustier and solid enough, but not quite enough to weld to. So nowadays we got crazy glue for that. Alright, so that's it for this weekend. Next weekend I'll just finish off a couple little bits in the middle, which should not take much time at all. Clean up, primer, and that'll be done for that.